us once again is Lisa Pink from Credible Products. Welcome to the show. How have you been?
Oh, great, Donna. How are you? Thanks for having me.
So
awesome.
excited. You know, I love Orange Credible and Pink Credible. So I want you to come back so that you can show our audience what we have.
Okay.
How does it work?
Well, this is an incredible product, Pink Credible and Orange Credible. It's a glass and multi-surface cleaner. And today I'm going to tell you why it's so special, okay? Because you're going to clean, you're going to polish, and you're going to protect. This product here, Pink Credible, removes lipstick, toothpaste, and hairspray. All you need is a little bit. As you can see, it's already doing the work for you. See right here, it's just really starting to pulverize and disintegrate the lipstick, okay? So what I'm going to do here is show you, okay.
Oh, wow, that's really coming up.
How amazing this really, truly is, okay? So what you're doing is you're cleaning, you're polishing, and you're protecting. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your microfiber towel that comes with this, you're going to flip it over, okay, and then you're going to buff it out, okay?
I just did this in my bedroom all weekend. I love your products. So same thing with my windows. It's so nice because it doesn't leave a fingerprint afterwards too. So it's clean.
Exactly, and a lot of times what happens is, you know, you can use these, right, which are like paper towels, and you can use, right, the blue cleaner, and everyone's used to using the blue cleaner. Now, yes, you could probably get this off if you keep going with it, but if you notice, it just keeps smudging all over, and it really takes like a long time to get this out, okay? So you can see like the stark difference between the Pink Credible and the blue cleaner that we're all used to using, okay? Now, a lot of the times, you know, if you use these cleaners, okay, the blue cleaner anyway, you notice you spray, and then all of a sudden, you see dust or dirt collecting again. So with Pink Credible and Orange Credible, what happens is it repels dirt, dust, and oily fingerprints, so you don't have to clean as often. So it's a kind of a triple action formulation. You're gonna spray, wipe, buff, and done. Now, also, this is great on glass, mirrors, plastic, wood, the body of your car, laminate, granite, marble. So here we have like a vinyl chair, okay? So I'm gonna just spray here. If you can see, like again, it's already doing the work for you. This product is something that's going to change your life. That's going to make your life a lot easier, okay? Because it's a high quality product. So it's crafted with very natural products. Everything is, you know, organically made. Nothing, there's no harsh chemicals in here. And the value of it all, because why? Because like I said, we're actually replacing, you don't need a granite cleaner, you don't need a vinyl cleaner, you don't need a glass cleaner, don't need all these cleaners. All you need is this one Pink Credible or Orange Credible product underneath your sink. Take it and go to work. So here I'm going to show you a little something. So a lot of the times, you know, you'll see these, you know, other companies, they say, oh, all you need is like, you know, a microfiber towel, you know, and all you need some water, and it's great. So just so you know, you don't, right? Because it's all about the product. So in our products here, we have a proprietary formulation, okay, like I said, that repels dirt, dust, and oily fingerprints, so you don't have to clean as often. But what's the proof? I'm going to do this proof live. I'm going to show you the difference between blue cleaner and the Pink Credible.
Okay, so let's rock it.
Now, this is a blue pane of glass and a pink pane. Okay, now, at first glance, it might seem like it's clean, but it's not. It's dirty. So let's see what happens here. We take this blue cleaner and we spray, okay? And let's take this microfiber towel that everyone seems to think that it works so great, right? So, again, like I said, it's the product that you're really working with. It's not, you know, the microfiber towel. You can use a microfiber towel with this. You can use a paper towel. It doesn't matter. The reason why we like the microfiber towel, which actually comes in the kit, you're going to get 2 microfiber towels, and you're going to get the Pink Credible and Orange Credible with the triggers, which is great. So that was the blue cleaner. Okay, now, let's go to the Pink Credible. Okay, let's spray this here, and I only need a little bit. If you notice, I sprayed a lot here. Yeah, just a little bit. You don't need too much. Okay, we're going to take this. Again, we're going to spray, we're going to wipe, okay, and we're going to buff. So you're going to flip over this little chamois, you're going to buff it out, okay. Now, why are we doing this?
That's to make the protective layer.
Exactly. So there's a protective layer going on here that you don't see yet, but we're going to see it just a second.
Okay.
Okay, so now, let's pretend, I have fabrics here. These are just like satin spandex. Okay, let's pretend that these are dirt particles or dust particles, right? And now this is the blue cleaner.
Yes.
So now, again, like I told you before, what happens when you use the blue cleaner and then you come back and you say, oh, and you see little dust particles, right, settling. And you're like, oh, Well,
I just cleaned it, but it
just
doesn't
cleaned
feel
it. Why
clean.
is the dust sticking here? What's
grit.
going on here? It's grit, right? But now with Pincredible, what did we do? We added this beautiful layer of smoothness so that way it repels dirt, dust, oily fingerprints. Let's just take these same ones here. Oh, wow. Look at this. This is like so amazing. Why?
Yes. Wow.
Why? This is the power of Pincredible and Orange Credible. This is why it's different than anything else on the market, okay? It's going to make your life so much easier. So now, not only did we clean, polish, and protect, right? And now you see it's going to take a long time for these dust particles, okay, to stick. I mean, we're talking about months. Because now let's say you're in the kitchen and you're having some bacon.
Switch places so that you can.
Sure. We're having some bacon and it gets on your cabinets, right? Or it gets on your stove. You're going to spray it, okay? Now, as you can see, it's doing the work for us. I love it because that's what it's supposed to do. Long are the days of you doing the work, right? So here we go. Ready, Donna? This is, you have to watch this. Okay, so it gets into the nooks and crannies of everything, okay? And like I said, you're going to spray, you're going to wipe, and you're going to buff, okay? And it's going to just be some real beautiful finish going on here. Get some of this. If it gets wet, just take the other one that comes in there and just.
I love to cook. I just cooked for Mother's Day, and there's always like a little splash of something on that cabinet right above, and you know, let me feel.
Yeah, feel that?
Oh,
so
nice.
now you'll be really surprised. When you're cooking, you don't realize if you go to your cabinets, you're gonna say, oh, these are really tacky. You feel it, you'll say, oh, wow, I never even knew it was like that, right? But now, what are we doing? We just cleaned this cabinet. So now the next time that you have bacon's grease splatter, oh, it's gonna be great. It's not even gonna really stick because now you have like this force field barrier on here that I just showed you, right? And so this is like what the real incredible part of this. People say, oh, what's so different about it? You know, why should I buy this, right? Well, the reason why is because it's going to make your life a lot easier and you're going to clean what? Less. Can you see what's happening here? It's just melting it away, okay? It's doing the work for us. This is the most important part of this Pincredible and Orange Credible. If you can see, it really refurbishes and brings things back to new. Same with the granite. Now, people are scared, right, to put anything on their granite because they're really not sure like how it's going to affect it. People spend thousands of dollars on their kitchens, on their granite tops. So let me come over here. Okay. So what happens is not only you clean, polish, and protecting, but to be honest, it's really also enhancing the luster of everything. So, you know, a lot of people, they use like harsh chemicals to clean, to disinfect.
And you're damaging your surfaces by doing that.
You're damaging your surfaces because the chemicals are really eating away at like the stone, at the wood, and then after a while, your surfaces look really dingy. But with Orange Credible and Pincredible, it really just brightens and shines it up. If you could see right here, if you zoom in here and you can see how amazing. It's a really high polish.
It is a high polish.
Now, remember, before I was telling you, you also have to think about, and also I have a shoe. This is my shoe, my actual shoe, okay? So this is for your kitchen. This is for your indoor, outdoor. It's great on your purses. It's great on your shoes. So in the wintertime, or even in the summer, if you have the pollen or salt, look at this. It's just a beautiful finish. So if you have any shoes or purses that you think maybe you're going to get rid of that look like kind of dingy, break them out here, and put the Pincredible and put the Orange Credible on there, and then you can just see, wow, look how shiny and look back to new this is, so you don't have to go shopping.
Multiple surfaces.
Right, exactly. Okay. So here we go. We're going to start spraying. As you can see, on any pollen, any dirt, any dust, any bird residue, it will come right off. You can actually even use this on the body of your car, right, because it repels bugs, right, in the summer. You can actually use it on the bottom of your boat. It repels barnacles. It really is an incredible product.
It's high quality. That's what I love about it too.
It really is high quality. And the best part about this is after you clean, okay, you can actually do a test at your own house. You can clean a section of your fence and then just leave the other part dirty. And you can see how long it takes to get dirty again. So what I would say is go to QVC.com and get it today. It smells amazing. Orange,
so
and the
nice.
pink is cherry almond. You'll get, each one is 32-ounce bottles. You get 1 Orange Credible, 1 Pincredible, 2 of the triggers, and 2 separate microfiber towels, which you can actually wash and dry at least 500 times, and they're real high quality.
And the most important thing is that it's deionized water. So you don't sell it as a concentrate because this is exactly perfectly mixed and you're gonna be able to get the same consistency time and time again.
That's right.
I'm a big fan. Stay tuned for more. We've been living it up right here with Lisa Pink from Credible Products.
Thank you.
Now, more than ever, our arts need to be celebrated. Joining us now from Westbury Arts are Tiffany and Julie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
We were just having a great conversation about what the arts mean to us and how important it is. What's happening, Tiffany, at Westbury Arts currently?
Well, currently in May, we are celebrating AAPI Month, Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So we have our art exhibition in the gallery right now.
Lovely. And what can somebody anticipate seeing there, Julie? When they walk through the threshold, what's happening at Westbury Arts?
There is a wonderful exhibition of beautiful pieces of art. We have, I don't know, I think 16 artists, 27 or 28 pieces of work on the walls, some really, really amazing stuff, and a very diverse assortment of art. There's photography, there's painting, there's drawing. It's a really very interesting exhibition.
Why are arts organizations like this important? What is the community impact, Tiffany?
Well, I think some people have been saying that the arts is a second responder, meaning that it really is a salve for our souls and for our spirits. So the arts is here to just transcend our differences and bring people together.
Yeah. I love that. How long has the Westbury Arts been in existence?
So we started in 2013. We received our 501c3 status in 2014.
Okay.
So we have just recently celebrated our 10th anniversary, which we're pretty young for an arts council, but I think we're doing good work.
Congratulations, you're doing excellent work. Some of the things that are at the forefront of what you're trying to do is to curate what? What are you hoping to bring during this coming season and ongoing seasons?
Well, one of the things that we were created for is to help the revitalization of the downtown of Westbury. So we are there to create this artistic community that makes people want to come and live and work and be with us. So that's kind of our purpose, but also in a broader sense, like Tiffany mentioned, the arts has the ability to transcend our differences. So we can bring people together who would not otherwise be together through the arts. And that's all of the arts. We're talking about music and theater and visual art and dance and performance. So we try to embrace every different aspect of the arts.
And interestingly enough, just before I was interviewing a filmmaker, and you're like, well, we have a theater, we have a screening room, right?
do.
And these are the types of things that we want to do. So what could somebody engage with there? What are some of the things you're doing there, Tiffany?
So, any given day when you walk into the gallery, we have something different going on. We have, so it could be a reception for our art exhibits, and sometimes it could be our Black Box Theater experience, which we are actually going to be announcing a very exciting partnership very soon. So we are going to have live theater in our performance arts space.
Wow.
We have jazz in the gallery. This is something that we created, which is a series that we do 4 times a year, where we bring a New York City jazz club experience to Westbury, to Long Island, where it's easily accessible to people. We have art classes going on.
Right.
We have monthly paint and sips, which we might actually be adding more of that to the calendar because they've gotten very, very popular. So just experiences where people might not have access to otherwise, we are bringing to Westbury. For example, actually, our paint and sip classes, we are going to start introducing a bilingual class once a month.
Wonderful.
So particularly for people like my parents who don't speak English very well, they'll have access to something that everyone else does. So
That makes, I can tell by the smile on your face that you're glowing inside. That's beautiful. I love
you.
As the leader and president of this organization, Julie, what advice would you give to someone that wanted to start something like this in their community?
The advice I would give them is to not be afraid to do something that you've never done before, to be willing to put yourself out there, make mistakes, figure it out as you go along, and to gather around you a group of like-minded individuals who are willing to do the work. Like that's really the most important thing, and to be willing to be creative and just figure it out as you go along.
Now, speaking of creative, do either of you paint, or did you also participate in the paint and sip evening?
I have participated. I'm also, my creative endeavor is musical. I'm a jazz singer, so I have actually performed at Jazz in the Gallery at Westbury Arts.
Nice. And how about you, Tiffany?
I'm a writer, actually, so I write in my spare time, but I am not an artistic person, no.
Okay, but would it be something we could see maybe in the Black Box Theater? I'm all about empowering and inspiring people, so.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Okay,
yeah.
okay. Arts
Yeah.
in the making right here and right now.
Yeah.
I thank you both for joining us.
Thank
Congratulations. And even though you're only 10 years young, there is a lot that's happening there because I get a chance to see the promotions that you're doing. So I'm happy that you were able to join us because I just wanted to give you a little shout out and a little applause and a little, flowers for what it is that you've been creating in your community. Well, really well done.
Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's been our pleasure.
Westbury Arts, and if you're looking to seek to do something similar in your community, or if you wanted to stop by to see what they're doing, please do so. I'm Donna Drake. Thanks for watching. Joining us now is Joni, and she's the CEO of Running Peas. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Did you like eating peas as a kid?
Actually, no, I didn't. But I do now, actually.
You do now.
Yes.
You do now. Me too. My brother Michael and I, always at the dinner table, I was like living in a family where they'd be like, finish your plate. And
Yes.
I'd always be like giving Michael my peas, right? But now I like them. But you have this new brand called Running Peas.
Yes.
And it's a clothing line for children.
Yes.
What made you decide to invent this? Why did you start this clothing line?
Well, yes. So my husband and I have been big runners, very passionate about running our entire lives. And we both ran in college. And then I competed for many years after college as well. So running has just brought me so much joy into my life. And when we started having children, I think I was looking for a way to share that passion with my kids. And my son in particular, when he was 2 and I was still pregnant with my youngest Kai, we had gone into Boston. We lived in Boston at the time, and we had gone down to Newbury Street one weekend to see the opening of a new running clothing brand. It was brand new, and we were very excited about it. So we went in the store, and it was adult clothing. And my son, he was in his stroller, and he just reached out, and he pulled out a pair of adult running shorts, and he said, "Mama, I want." And it was like light bulbs all over the place. I just was like, yes, I want that for you too. But when I went to go find similar clothes for him, it was just a lot of adult branding. And, on the t-shirt, and it was clothing that was like adult clothes shrunk down for kids.
Okay.
And I really just didn't want that for my son. So I wanted a way that I could share my passion for running, but in a fun, joyful way.
Now, what's so nice too is like the shorts have the cool piping on them.
Yeah.
They're like a throwback in a way, right?
Yeah.
They're nostalgic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm always very inspired by New Balance. I'm a big New Balance. I always train in their running sneakers. And I like clean lines, and I thought that it would be fun to have vibrant colors and to just make them fun and to have that contrasting color on the edging, on the piping. So all of our clothes are made to mix and match.
Okay.
So we have 3 different...
That's important,
It
right?
is,
Because we
yeah.
know as moms, right? Something might be in the laundry, something might be dirty, and you're always trying to figure out what goes with what, right?
Exactly, and it's easier for the moms and the parents and the kids to choose what to wear.
That's awesome. And you're also, like you said, empowering, your own children to be like, okay, well, what color do you want to wear today? It teaches them colors. It teaches them all types of skills.
Exactly.
And they're easy on, Right, and easy off, which is
They're
also
easy
important.
on, and they're incredibly soft. That was a real touch point for myself. I did notice when I had gone out to find running clothes for my own kids, a lot of the shorts especially felt very plasticky. So the shorts in particular are very soft. They have special venting on the side that allows the clothes to move with kids, because I think that's very important. So they're not restricting in any way. And we also incorporated a side venting on all the shirts and the singlets for the same reason, so that the clothes really do move with your children.
Now, how is their athletic prowess now, your kids?
They're
Is it
involved
fun to
in
see them?
many different activities, and my husband and I are coaching and helping out where we can, and it's so much fun. And it's fun to see them involved in running and their friends as well. I'm able to coach in our local run club, and it brings me so much joy to see kids, out there just smiling and loving the sport. And I think that's really what it's all about. If we can keep sports fun and keep the joy in sports and teach them that, this is fun and it'll be ingrained for their whole lives.
Fitness really does matter, especially
It
now.
does.
They said that the average person is spending even more time now on social media than they used to. It's like, get out. Like, we've had some nice weather recently.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's beautiful. Go to the park. Even if you're just walking, even if you can't, like, maybe if you're not going to run, if you're not going to, like, run to the point where you get the endorphins going,
Yeah.
don't have to be a professional runner like you.
No,
Just get out there and enjoy.
Yeah, I really believe that it's all about movement, right? If we can get our kids outside moving, and very much running peas is an expression of movement and of the joy of movement, and that's just such an important lesson to learn in life as they move forward. And if kids can feel good in what they're wearing and spark that initial joy and passion for activity when they're young, I truly believe that they will carry that with them for the rest of their lives. I mean, I didn't start out doing a lot of sports when I was little. It was just not accessible. I fell in love with running on the playground.
Lovely.
And it has literally changed my life. So I wouldn't have had the confidence to even start a running brand, something I know absolutely nothing about, had I not gone through all of those experiences with running and actually had the support of the running community and my friends and family.
Congratulations, Joni.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming all the way down from Maine. I love when people come in from all over the world to be on the show. I always think it's so exciting. But now I'm like, I want to go back and visit Maine again. So
You should.
Yeah,
And look us up and come hang out with us.
I will. I'll even run.
That would be great. Come
jog,
run with us.
a light little jog. Nice to see you. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so
Joni.
much. I appreciate it.
There you go. So if you want to be a pea and run like me, it's Running Peas. Kids clothing line. It's brilliant. Be well. Joining us now is Janine from Jay's Natural Beauty. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, thanks, Donna, for inviting me. Pleasure.
Where are you calling in
Pleasure.
from today?
From Northern California.
Lovely, lovely. Have you been to see the redwoods?
Oh, yeah. I was born and raised here. I've seen everything, just about everything here.
Beautiful. That is one thing that I haven't done yet, but I'm really looking forward to doing. Why did you start Jay's Natural Beauty?
Well, about 20 years ago, I really got into natural products. I learned about the really bad stuff that was in personal care and hair care and actually food. So I started learning about more natural ways to get what I need done as far as skincare, hair care, and personal care. And so I started searching out for more natural stuff, but along the way, I found out there were horrible, horrible ingredients in there, and I learned about them, and so I couldn't find anything that I was looking for that was really natural, because USDA says if it's only 5% of natural in their product, they can put on the front all natural. It's legal. So it was really hard for me. So I started creating my own.
Now, one of the things that I've learned from my good friends who happen to be Black is that the hair, right? When you have natural hair, there are certain products that you need to do in order to keep it moist, to keep the moisture in, right? Is that something that was important to you? Is the texture of your hair and how to treat that so that it can have that beautiful, lush, I guess, healthiness and glow to it?
I just wanted something not plant-based. Everything in my products are plants that I've researched, and I wanted to make it for all hair, all types of hair, all types of skin. So it meets every race, every nationality, and it doesn't just cater to one type of hair. It's for all hair, all skin. It's just plants.
That's exactly why I asked you the question. So like I said, I have a lot of friends and they're like, oh, well, that's not going to work for you, or this will work for you, or that won't work for you. And I was like, well, why doesn't that work for me? So you have a product line that works for everybody.
Everybody, every skin type, every hair type, yes.
Why is healthy skin important as we, go through our day to day? There's so many like radical toxins that are coming at us, right? From the things that we eat and from the air that we breathe. We get toxins all over our skin, right? Why is it important to use a healthcare product, or not a healthcare product, a skincare product that is actually healthier for us?
Yeah, it is a skincare, it's a hair care, it's a baby care, it's a pet care. The reason why the things that we put around our skin, it's the biggest organ, and it affects our hormones. I've learned through the years, sometimes women can't have kids, and they wonder, oh, what is it about me? What did I do? A lot of times, it's not what you did. It's what we put in our bodies, and our hormones go wiki wacky, wiki wacky. Let me give you a really good example. I've learned that a lot of skincare brands that is used, very well-known names, very expensive, some not, they use a chemical that they tested on male rats, and the male rats was able to produce female eggs.
Wow.
Male rats with female
Wow.
eggs. This is how dangerous and how effective the chemicals and toxins that we're putting in. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. And even SPF is important, but all the SPF in my moisturizer and my lotion, it comes from plants. God put plants on the earth to take care of our needs. And you don't have to go buy chemical SPF. It's right in the jar. You don't have to use a toner and a spray and an anti-age and all this other stuff. Everything I have is in one jar.
It does make it simple. It makes it a really great find, right? It's like one and done, right? One and done. I appreciate your time. Thank you for educating us. Thank you for joining us. We got a chance to talk earlier today on the phone. I think you're very delightful. You're a really special person. And I wanted to tell you thank you. Thank you for joining us on the show. From so far away, right? We got a chance to talk. It must have been really early where you were today, but thank you so much. So it's Jay's Natural Beauty, right? And like you said, you could use it on the baby, on the pet, on yourself. It works for all different types of skin and hair.
And I have them for different, labeled for different, but in actuality, everybody can use them. I have stuff especially for baby, especially for pet, but it's for everybody. Like I said, it goes down to your pet in your home.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining us. Wish you all the best. I know you have a huge fan base, so I'm just saying hello to all of them too. So thank you for stopping by and joining us today.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you. Okay, be well. Happy journeys to you. Bye-bye. Joining us now is Harry, and we are here at Sterling Cigar Bar and Lounge. Welcome, how are you? I should actually be the opposite, right? I'm so happy to be here because this is your place.
Thank you, Donna. Welcome.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Welcome to Tampa. Happy to have you here today. We're very excited. Thank you, everyone.
So it's spelled Y-B-O-R, but it's called Ybor.
Ybor.
Which makes me think of Igor, like Igor, right? So how did you end up in Ybor?
Well, that's a great question, Donna. And Ybor, I've been traveling down to Tampa, Florida for over 40 years now.
Really?
Yes. And as a youngster, we used to come down to Ybor City as teenagers to hang out here. And we loved it down here. And my parents also bought a place down in Clearwater here about 35 years ago. So I was able to visit Florida. And I was able to discover this beautiful place called Ybor City.
It is so amazing. I came down and I thought, wow, the history. It's got a very rich history. It's got amazing streets that are all like this, like cobblestone, but almost like, I guess they're bricks.
Yes.
And it looks like they're recycled bricks or reclaimed bricks. And I just found it fascinating.
Yes,
So,
a lot of old school stuff here.
Okay.
This town started in 1890.
Okay.
The parcel's about 40 acres.
Okay.
And Mr. Ybor Martinez himself, along with another philanthropist from New York, Ignacio Haya, financiers, came down here back in 1890, 1892, purchased this parcel down over here, and bought the cigar capital here to Ybor City. Outside of Cuba, the biggest place was Key West, Florida, but they were looking for another place to make it a little easier than Key West. So the Tampa ports here made it very convenient to bring their factories over here and get everything rolling over here. So he started out, and the way he lured workers here, Donna, was the promise of a job and a house,
Okay.
and was able to lure people from all over the world so they can build this little city known as Ybor City, where we stand now. Yes.
it's very exciting. Now, growing up, I always thought that cigars grew on trees. Like, have you ever seen like the cigar tree where there's a tree and it has like the hanging things that look like cigars? I always thought that that's where they came from, but that's not true, right?
No.
So what makes a great cigar? What do we have this sample cigar here, correct?
Correct.
Okay, teach us.
Okay, so in my hand here I have a Fuente cigar, which is a good quality cigar. In my opinion, and in most cigar people's opinion, there's 3 to 4 things on the cigar. I would say one is the construction of the cigar, making sure when it's rolled that there's not a lot of inconsistency as far as the veinage goes or any rips or tears. The cigar's got to be constructed well. That's up to the roller and how he puts that together. Another thing with the cigar is the draw. It's got to be a good draw, because if that thing is not pulling smoke and it's not a good draw, you're not going to really enjoy it if you have to work for the smoke.
Okay.
And I would say the most important thing is the taste. We want to get a good taste in cigars so we enjoy it and we want to smoke it again. So the taste is very, very important on the cigar. And each cigar has its own unique taste, Donna. And that's all. Every company has its own individual process how they make the cigar, and there's a formula.
Kind of like a wine or a beer almost, Harry?
Exactly
Okay,
like that.
okay.
These things are blended, and once they're blended, as they're being blended, they're writing these formulas down so they can replicate that same smoke again if they hit a nice quality smoke. They're like, okay, well, this is how we made it. This is the portions that were used from each tobacco leaf and put into this cigar. So that's how that's made, and there's a formula. And
Now, what I find interesting too is like, it looks like it's brown paper, but that's not. That's a leaf on the outside?
that is a leaf.
Okay.
And this is a lighter leaf over here. This leaf is more of a Havana type of a leaf, or a sun-grown actually, this leaf is here. This is a sun-grown. And the leaves achieve their colors through the fermenting process,
Wow.
the aging process, and how early or late the leaves are picked from the top of the plant. The longer I leave the leaf at the top, which is the ligero leaf, that's going to become darker. It's going to ripen. It's going to drip oils and make that cigar bolder. Okay, if I pick leaves from the bottom or early pick the leaves, it's not going to be as strong. So that's how we get the strength of a cigar, is by the boldness of the leaf, and the top leaves seem to be the boldest.
Interesting. Now, if someone's a novice and they come to Sterling for the first time and they don't really know anything about cigars, are you here? Like, do you get a chance to like talk to them through conversation? Is it that type of a vibe here?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So the nice thing with the cigars, you know, it's a great conversation piece to bring people together. It opens them up. It's unlike just ordering an alcoholic beverage. The cigar brings along a lot of great conversation. And me being here every day, I take pride in meeting people who are beginner smokers or asking me questions how they should smoke this, because I feel it's my duty to show them the correct way, because if they enjoy that, they'll do it again.
Right.
And they'll have something nice to look forward to. So I educate every person that comes through here that wants to hear me, obviously. We're gonna teach them a little something about the cigar. We're gonna teach them where it's made, so they have a little education about it, yes.
Now, speaking of the people that walk through your door, they come from all over the world because you're here, like where the cruise ships have a harbor and things like that. So were you surprised at the types and the different places that the clientels come from? Were you surprised by that?
I am, it's amazing. I never expected to have different people traveling through here. And the funny thing is that there's a lot of smokers all over the world who enjoy them, including a lot of women who enjoy the cigars. We get the majority of our customers here on the weekend, I believe, are women in here.
Okay.
So they love cigars as well, and it's great to watch everyone smoke, okay? So we have people, beginners, we have experts, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're an expert or a beginner. A cigar is about the experience. It's about having a good time, for us to share about life, okay? So we're gonna sit and we're gonna talk a little about each other, and I wanna get to know about you, and you're gonna wanna get to know about me, okay?
Last night, I witnessed some business deals going down actually between people. They're like, oh, well, this one, somebody came here to celebrate, they were a bachelor, they're getting married. Somebody else is celebrating a business deal. You know, so there's a lot of different activities that happen here. And you also offer live music on some nights.
We do. We have music, live jazz here 5 nights a week. We bring in some great talented artists. We're lucky to live here in Tampa. We got some of the greatest artists here as far as jazz, and they come to us, and we're grateful to have them play here. We have Grammy artists that come here.
I noticed that. Yeah, I was like downstairs on the really cool like chalkboard. It's got like the drawing of your logo or whatever, and it's got like, I was like, oh, Grammy, you know, and I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So high quality artists, also up and coming, and
Correct.
a variety of people.
Correct. We get American Idol contestants. We get Grammy nominated artists as well. And the great thing is we offer a beautiful venue here where there's a lot of exposure. A lot of these guys that we bring in here, the truth is that we can't afford some of these guys, but they love to play here anyway.
Yeah.
So we're very fortunate to be here.
It's a really cool vibe.
Yes.
And you've got like terraces out the front and out the back. You've got open patios and things like that. But you also have a very high quality like Airbnb.
Yes.
And I know that firsthand because I got to stay in your beautiful accommodations,
Yes.
but top notch.
Thank you very,
Right?
very much. Yes. We have a beautiful luxury Airbnbs downstairs that were designed by my wife and put everything together. This building is the cigar building.
Okay.
We offer luxury hanging out.
What's nice too is that each of these luxury Airbnbs has their own like patio, their own little terrace to go out on.
That's right. So each one has its own patio. We have some nice chairs out there, and we have some ashtrays. So we get to enjoy the beautiful scenery outside here of Ybor City. This is a small Bourbon Street. This is a miniature version of Bourbon Street.
Yes.
That happens out here.
So if I wanted you to throw beads at me off the terrace tonight,
Yes,
Harry,
we
would you
will.
throw some
Yes,
beads?
yes.
And there's also a great high-end menu of beverages, adult beverages, right?
We do.
So
we have an excellent menu here and a different variety of a lot of spirits. I love having something for everyone, so we cater to that. I probably have about 35 rums, about 30 bourbons, about 25 whiskeys, about 20 tequilas, and a ton of other spirits. So we like to have a little bit for everybody. So someone who walks in here, I think they're going to be able to find a drink that they really love. We do offer some high-end liquors as well, as like your Old Fitzgerald and your Blantons and stuff like that. So we offer a nice quality of spirits in here for a little for everyone, okay? Cigars and guitars. That's how we started this place. I play guitar, and I wanted people to be able to come up here, especially musicians, where they can come to a place and pick up a beautiful Fender Stratocaster to play for a couple of minutes or an hour.
Right.
And it's the only place in the world that I believe that you can
Just take it off the wall.
take a guitar off the wall, have a bourbon in one hand, a cigar in the other, and enjoy yourself and have some fun in here.
We're gonna rock it out tonight, right?
Yes, we are.
I can't wait. Stay tuned for more. We're living it up right here with my dear friend Harry. You got to be here. It's on 7th, right?
Yes.
7th and Ybor. It's a great place to be. Was Julius Caesar known to smoke cigars?
I don't know if Julius Caesar was meant to smoke cigars, but Mr. Julius Newman was meant to smoke cigars.
Okay, so talk to me about it.
This is the J.C. Newman tobacco factory here in front of us that you see here. They are the oldest cigar factory in America. They are our neighbors, very close to us over here, and they make some exceptional cigars. The majority of the tobacco comes from the Dominican Republic, which is wrapped over there, packaged, sent over here for distribution. That's one of our local friends from here. Also, the Arturo Fuentes Cigar Company right over here. One of the best cigar companies in the world. They also support us here at Sterling. And we have some very fine cigars from Arturo Fuente as well. This is also Dominican tobacco and some high quality cigars as well here. This is the Donna for today, yes. This is a Fender Stratocaster, one of the most popular instruments on the planet. This is a Jimi Hendrix special right here. Ooh. And there you go, except Jimi Hendrix played it upside down and backwards. Prodigy of his time. Here you go.
Indeed. All right, let's go play. You know what tonight is, right? It's a rainy night in Ybor. Oh, such a rainy night in Ybor. But the sun is shining here at Sterling. Woo, it's thunder. So a lot of people just come and they come and jam on.
That's right. They come over here. They can pick out a guitar off the wall over here. We strap them in with a silent headphone set. We got about 20 different amps on that. They can have their cigar, they can have their bourbon, and be a rock star for the day here. Yes, sir.
joining me now is my son, Matthew Dunninger. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Grateful to be here.
It's been a long time since I've had you on set with me, hasn't it been?
At least 7 years, yes.
At least 7 years. But today's very special. Tell us what you're currently studying and where you're a student.
I'm currently an aerospace student at the University of Michigan studying aerospace engineering.
Pretty exciting. And with us now is going to be an astronaut. I know.
Dr. Bernard Harris.
Dr. Bernard Harris, welcome to the show. Hi.
I am glad to be on the show.
So I have done a lot of research, and obviously so has Matthew, about you. And one of the things that you have is you have a new book, or maybe fairly new, called Embracing Infinite Possibilities. Can you tell us about your book, please?
Yeah. So my first book I wrote 10 years ago, and it was a memoir, basically kind of describing my life up to that point. And one of the chapters at the very end talked about reaching your full potential. So investing in you. So I wanted this book to be dedicated in helping young people like Matthew figure out what they want to do in life and then provide some tools for them to accomplish their dream, whatever their dream is.
For you, what was that moment in faith that had you step out and know that you wanted to, walk in space, that you wanted to be an astronaut?
Yeah, I was one of those kids who was fascinated with science and science fiction. And I watched the space program develop right before my eyes, the Gemini program and then eventually the Apollo program. And when I was 13 years old, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon, and I knew that I wanted to follow in their footsteps.
Well, speaking of those wonderful astronauts, Matthew,
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, honestly, it's the same here. You are an inspiration like those astronauts, and watching the space missions, I wasn't alive for the first runs, but watching them now, it's still inspiring to me and what caused me to go into aerospace.
And I don't think my son even knows this, but my father, Larry Campana, worked on Gemini. He worked on that project. He was working at McDonnell Douglas back in the day and was involved in that as well. But I've also been fascinated with space, and even though I'm not an astronaut, enjoy getting to hear firsthand experiences for you. So Dr. Harris, what was that moment like when you knew that this was going to be successful? Like that moment, that epiphany, if you will, of the moment it actually became a reality for you?
So first of all, let me say that you guys are in the family. We have this thing at NASA. Once you're a part of NASA, you're always part of NASA. And it looks like now this is the third generation that's going to be involved in aerospace. So I'm excited for you. So it was, for me, it was watching Neil and Buzz land on the moon. It was then me going to NASA, writing to NASA, because we didn't have the internet back then, so you couldn't go and Google anything. And so I had to write to NASA to find out what the requirements were to become an astronaut. And as part of that information that they sent back, they sent me some photos of some of the astronauts and signed pictures, and that made me even more excited. And then later on, when it really came time to get serious about what I was going to do, meaning I'm finished up high school, getting ready to go to college, I had to decide on what field I would go into, because I couldn't go to college to major in being an astronaut. There was no such major. And so I decided to follow in the footsteps of another great man, a guy by the name of Joe Kerwin, who was the first American physician to go in space on board Skylab. And when I saw that, I went, okay, that's my path.
It's nice when you talk about infinite possibilities, right? So what is that book about? Like, how can someone engage with that technology or that knowledge or that wisdom that you've gained in order to implement that in their own journey through your book?
Yeah, I think one of the first things, first steps in going through your journey is taking time to figure out who you are, right? And ask those life questions. Who am I? What are my skills? What appeals to me? When I look at something, what excites me about it? And for me, it was the space program. So looking at the space program and getting excited about what I saw. So I knew that inside that there was this yearning to be part of the space program. And then it was then to figure out my skill set, who I am as a person fits into that. And so along the way, I got befriended by my family physician, who happened to be an African-American physician in the town that we were living. And he took me under his wing, and I realized that there was a second thing that I fell in love with, and that was that I like helping people. So putting those two things together really set it for me. And so when I talk to young people, I said, you need to, when you're looking at something that you want to consider, test it out with your head first, things that you see something that's exciting that you might want to do, but then really set it if it feels good in your heart. So you want to do two things, the head-heart decision. And if those two things coincide, that's what you should do.
An astronaut and a physician, both, and an author. many things. I know, Matthew, you had a question that as we were discussing, researching Dr. Bernard, what were your thoughts on that question?
Yeah, I was fascinated about your plethora of experience in both medicine and space. And as you know, space travel could be taxing for the human body, especially with microgravity and difficulty exercising. I wondered, as an expert in both areas, what is an issue in space health that you would like to see solved in the next 10 years?
Matthew, that's a great question. And it was a question that I asked myself right before I joined NASA, because when I talked to a mentor who was involved in aerospace, I said, this is what I want to do, but how do I break into it? How do I stand out? And he said, go and research NASA and find out what is the biggest issue about humans in space. And so that's what I did. And I found out that there were a lot of medical issues. When you take a body that's developed in a gravity environment and you put it into a microgravity environment in space, all bets are off as to what you will find. For example, we lose 1% of bone per month. We lose about 15 to 20% of our muscle mass because we don't need muscle to walk around. We can just float. Our heart gets smaller. And the gravity, or the lack of gravity, impacts us on the genetic level. So there were a lot of open problems that needed to be solved. And I picked the bone problem. And so I started working on that, started studying calcium metabolism. And then and that was at NASA Ames Research Center out in California. And then when I moved to Johnson Space Center, I joined what was called the Crew Healthcare System. So all of those things I just touched on were all under an umbrella of an organization that was supposed to solve these problems. And one of the ways in which we solved at least the muscle and bone problem, or at least helped the muscle and bone problem, because it's still not solved. We still need your help, Matthew, by the way. We still need your help there, is that exercise. And so I helped to develop some of the exercise equipment that's currently in the International Space Station as we speak.
Wow. Well, that is exciting because Matthew, one of the things he enjoys doing, he wants to be an inventor, right? And that's one of the things you were thinking about.
Yeah.
Technology. How can you
apply, technology and engineering to solve the problem of exercise in space? Because as you said, your muscles start to atrophy from lack of use, and that's something I personally care a lot about fitness and about engineering. So that was one area of interest of mine.
It's a great question. And you also, Doctor, said that you're very focused on helping others, and you have a nonprofit. What are you doing with that foundation now?
So in 1998, we formed the Harris Foundation, and we did that to support a program that had already developed a few years earlier called the Bernard Harris Summer Science Camp. And this is where we bring in inner city kids, rural kids, middle school, onto a college campus. Let me tell you how important that is. In many of the cities that we had this camp in, we had kids that lived around the college itself and had never set foot on the college campus. And I can't tell you what a difference it made when you would take these kids that normally wouldn't be exposed to a university and you bring them on campus and you teach them about math and science, and you bring college students that are closer to their age to talk to them about life as a college student. It changes their lives. And so we managed to do that program amongst others, but we were in 30 different universities on an annual basis, probably for about 15 years or so, and made a serious impact. And just as a side note, if I can throw this in, I was actually the commencement speaker for Wilberforce University this weekend. And who met me at the door was one of our campers from almost 20 years ago, who was a professor at the university, not only professor, but a provost. Now, I was so proud, but I also felt pretty old because
Well, you know, it's wonderful that this space and this time has brought the three of us together. I thank you for your contribution to your, with your knowledge to our audience, and in particular as the mom of Matthew. Thank you so much. Matthew, did you have any final thoughts?
I would just like to say thank you again. Truly, what you did in space and along with the medical field and inspiring the next generation has been a benefit to all of us. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you
are
so
welcome.
much.
And remember, you are the next generation. So go out there and make a difference.
Happy journeys to you always. Thank you so much, Doctor. We really appreciate you being here. Dr. Bernard.
Dr. Bernard.
That's amazing. Thank you. Happiness. Be well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is Donna Drake. Happy journeys!
Take my hand, come with me, and we'll find better ways to be something much more. Live it up, live it up, live it up now.
Thanks for watching Live It Up. You can visit us at liveituptvshow.com.